earn his money, how to manage money, how to manage people, how to leverage, how to organize businesses, and that business climate, even life itself, is dynamic. Be a leader tomorrow, you must be a leader today. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you learn, the more you earn. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more pathetic than being foolish.
Welcome. This is the Bridge Network, City Church, Canada. We're so glad that you're here with us today.
And then we welcome our pastor back to Nigeria. This is the pastor we deserve. This is the pastor we love so much that we do not wish to lose to other people in other countries. We want him back. It's a blessing to be around us. It's loaded, and he believes in faith and deed. Many preachings are about faith, but we need to put the faith
In action.
to action. You understand? And this is what has really made me love him and get closer to him over the years. He's practical, he's pragmatic, he loves people. Beyond that is the other aspect which I would have wanted him to improve upon, is that congregation should contribute to the development of the church. This is the church that has raised many people. The people should raise the church. Thank you so much, sir, for the privilege of coming around again to share my views, the teachings I have taken the call to give to people. It's a blessing to come around you here, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, when we talk and share opinions, we understand each other a lot more than when we assume that this is what people should need. You understand? And this is what people should know. The fact is that many people may already know all those things. But when they speak, because some of us have been there in that position before, we will be able to know what next to add, so that we can individually and collectively get ourselves out of perpetual, what they call, problems of Nigeria. So it's a privilege to be back, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Nice having you back, too.
Thank you, sir.
The theme for our anniversary is the fundamentals, and we wanted to go back to the core. What is the most important foundation? But when I was having a discussion with you, you spoke about generating transgenerational wealth. Do you want to talk about that now, or you'll do that in the network service? Would you prefer to
Yes,
start?
anything I want to talk about that you talk about here, I'd rather say it here.
Okay, good.
You understand?
So What's this thing about transgenerational wealth that you felt was something we needed to face right now, especially at a time when it seems as if things are the toughest in the country? Why is that something you're looking at?
Yes. When you look at the problem, sir, thank you so much for the question. It's something I hold there. Over the years, growing up in business, it has fascinated me, this idea of building a family business. Not my business, the business of the family. The Toyota, the Mercedes-Benz,
Yes.
the Barclays Bank, the Sainsbury's, the Marriott.
Yeah, that's true. Michelin.
These are the companies that in America hire about 65%
Of the workforce.
of the workforce. If we have something like that in Nigeria, more people thinking about building businesses, raising children in the family, nurturing them to sort of take over the businesses, becoming the first and the only employer of our own children, reading about how those things have been done by other families in the world, and then inculcating that. Why building the business to meet the children and building the children to meet the business, and then organizing a structure of a board where the key people that actually run the business coach the children,
And how to do it.
co-opt the children, and then while one is still very young and alert, the companionship of the expert within the system that we have grown over the years, and the children that we have grown over the years take over. And then one sitting back to become mentors for them. You understand? And then their children to work within the frame of the business, so that more people, if we have 100, 200, 500 people are building businesses like that in Nigeria, we will not, this dependency on businesses created by government will not have arisen. You understand? And then the time to begin has passed.
Wow.
But the next time to begin is now.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of crusade or mentality that we should form today. I don't want to go personal, but this is what I am trying to evolve into. I currently run 7 organizations, 4 hospitals, 2 in Lagos, 2 in Ibadan, 3 hotels, 2 in Ibadan, 1 in Abeokuta. I have 2 children. The first one, when he finished, worked with us,
Medical doctor.
The second one, also in final year, becoming the medical doctor in 1 year, and also joining us in the business. I retired as a medical practitioner 26 years ago. And I have not seen a single patient over the years. We have 15 doctors running 4 hospitals. They are all resident in the hospital. And then we have a system in place to run the 7 organizations. We have a general manager in charge of all the 7 organizations. We have...
The general manager is in charge of all the
7 organizations.
Not the hospital. So it's going from hotel to...
Yes.
Okay.
She's in charge of all the organizations. We have 2 deputy general managers. One in charge of hospitals. Another one in charge of hotels. The deputy general managers, they coordinate director of administration in each of the hospitals. The deputy general manager hotels coordinate activities in each of the, actually manage the managers of the 3 hotels. You understand? So that this structure makes my own effort unnecessary.
As a businessman, I would have loved to interrogate you about how you created the structure and found the staff to run it. But I must play the devil's advocate this morning, because in the minds of a lot of people here, in my opinion, why in God's name will I bother to build a transgenerational business when I can't even survive right now? Why would that be a priority for me? What is the benefit? Because at the moment, everybody's looking at survival for themselves. And so they sometimes want to latch on to an existing company, you know what I mean, to earn an income. Is this idea that I must survive first? Why do you think why would anybody in that kind of situation will want to say, okay, I'm going to start thinking about transgenerational building? Why would you think that's important to them at this time?
Thank you very much. It is something that evolves naturally.
Okay.
When you learn to do anything you want to do, certain people have done them in the past.
Okay.
So instead of you trying to do those things by yourself, using what we call innate intelligence,
okay,
one's own understanding and wisdom is usually
limited,
ridden with mistakes and all the rest. Why not ask the person who has done this thing before? If you cannot access them, some of them have written books. Why not sit down with a cup of tea or coffee, 4 o'clock every morning, to read every day, to go deeper? So it's the next stage.
Okay.
After you have created one business, you have freed yourself from working in the business to enable yourself to work on the business. And by working on the business, you have the freedom and elasticity of creating more businesses. Because while working on your business, you have the freedom of learning more, the freedom to sit down away from the activities and routines of the business to actually look at other businesses, the way they grow. Look at your own weaknesses and see how to ameliorate those weaknesses. Look at your own strength and how to build upon that. You understand? These are the privilege. And then this is the only way you can be, it's past, while you are still working in your business, That is survivor. Your own survivor. By the time you start working on it, that is a survivor of so many people.
Okay.
You understand now?
Yeah.
So it's the time you care for those other people that you, by yourself, become a blessing to more people. So that's the only...
That's really good. Thank you. Before, I'm going to ask one more question. I'm going to open up if they can get the microphones ready for other people. One of our ministers, the first guest minister we had on October 1st, Pastor Abib Olamitoye was here, and one of the first things he tried to encourage us to do here with the current state of the country and the unusual weight of our naira against the dollar was to start generating businesses that can attract international patronage. Do you think this will help if we start thinking like that? Or what would you suggest we do in order for us? Because right now it's to our advantage to earn dollars, because we're getting a very good exchange rate for it if I was bringing it in. So what would you say to anybody now who would say, okay, how do I, make that shift towards earning foreign exchange or expanding my business to an international market where I can start bringing in or earning? Will this concept of transgenerational business help?
Thank you so much, sir. That's what we call acres of diamond.
The book, yeah.
You understand? This concept is all about look at what you are doing now. There is pounds, there is dollars in what you currently do.
Right now.
If the dollar is what you want to bring in, what about the dollar that is already within the system? Why not improve the business you currently do to the extent that you can match the revenue of similar businesses in UK, in US, in Canada? Why not increase patronage, increase profitability at home, and become relevant? You see, shift from what you are currently doing with the thinking that profit from dollar, that can be a distraction.
Okay.
From you focusing on what you do, improving on what you do, getting to become the very best in what you do. It is this gradual, incremental, what they call Kaizen, incremental improvement that will evolve. At this time now, if we want to start an hotel in London, you understand?
Capital, and huge capital.
Within the businesses that we run, we can actually buy a good size 100-room hotel in London. You understand? But I would prefer to buy my next hotel in Nigeria. You see, because that is what I do. I can't go into forwarding and backwarding because I have to focus on, in the past 36 years, I've been in the same industry. Hospital and hotel are the same. This is hospital and hospitality. It's just the same thing. You understand? Bringing people
and caring for them.
caring for them, providing bed. You understand? You provide bed in hotel, you provide bed in hospital. You understand? It's still the same thing. That is why I get learning curve in the same industry. So if I'm going to, I can't go into oil. I don't know anything about oil. I can't go into importing things. I will lose money because I've not read anything about it in the past. So this same thing that I do, I want to focus, and then I focus the attention of my team and my children on this same business. You understand? Of course, it's easy for them to run hospitals, even if they are not doctors. But it's better
as doctors.
As doctors. That's why when they ask me what should they read, I say, well, if I were to be in your shoes, I would become a doctor. You understand? And then they adopted that idea. And then they saw that the way I have time for them, I have time for the family. I sleep at home. We travel together. We chat. You understand? I have freed myself from the system even before they started knowing ABC. You understand now? So they love my kind. They see becoming a doctor as becoming somebody like me. They didn't see stress in my life. You understand now? So it makes it easy for them to believe in what I'm doing. You understand? So these are the concepts we should bear in mind. Yes, you can bring dollars. Yes, you can bring pounds. But what we're doing now, there is pounds and dollars and yen and all of those inside what we are doing.
Let's appreciate him for that. Come on now. All right. Anybody want to throw some questions at Dr. Abib? Yeah, you can see. Just honor. So you give to the elder before we give to the Pastor Lasokwe first, please.
Good morning, Church.
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning, sir.
You are the first person who has just said what I've been advocating for over the years. Or rather, in recent years, when they've been talking about dollars and pounds, that if you increase your revenue base, you stop thinking about dollars and pounds. And many people have failed to reason along those lines. If you continue to think about the fact that pounds and dollars are going up, the solution is what you have said. You cannot hold it. You cannot bring it down. But you can improve yourself to match whatever they are doing or whatever it becomes. And I thank God that you have said that, and I believe our people should learn from that. Stop checking how much dollar is today. Stop checking how much pounds is today. I don't check. When I want to travel, I now match it, like you have said. You match whatever the rate is by increasing your own revenue base. And that is the way you can solve your problem in your head. If you keep thinking every day and checking how much is dollar today, how much is pound today, you will fail. Concentrate on increasing your revenue base so that you can match whatever the exchange rate is. Now, the second thing you spoke about, which I noted, is you spoke about family business. Now, I want to use myself as an example. I qualified as a lawyer, fine. But I've done the work of everybody in the legal system. I've done the work of a clerk before, in that I was keeping files, I was going to court to file papers. I did the work of a bailiff to go and serve papers. And I did the worst of jobs as a lawyer. Traveled to Ilorin to go and do what is called mention. Mention is you just stand before the court and say, my lord, we come to mention this case. And then you go back. I've done that several times. Ilorin, Akure, Ado-Ekiti, Ondo, Abeokuta. Now the point I'm making is this. That developed me so that now that I am on the high echelon of the legal profession, nobody can tell me any stories because I can easily know what you are talking about. In family businesses today, most of our people do not allow their children to go and start from the beginning. When the child qualifies as an engineer, for example, they bring him to be the general manager of the engineering company. Take that boy, put him in the store. Let him go and learn storekeeping first of all. When he leaves the place, let him learn how to mix cement, how to do all those things, and grow in the business so that that business, by the time he becomes the general manager, it will succeed. But most Nigerians make that mistake because when you are saying family business in America, I believe that they did that for their children. Although you have examples where they have failed. For example, I know everybody's been talking about Manchester United, that the owners, Joel and Ava Glazer, they're trying to sell. But those boys never went through the ranks. That is why they mismanaged that football team for 15 years. And they now decided to sell. There's a young man here in Ibadan. His father was a tailor. He went to school and read. And after reading, he became a graduate. We served together. The father said he should go into the store and go and learn how to measure clothes, first of all. How to cut clothes, how to sew. He did that for so many years until he now became the CEO. All the time when he was doing that thing, his father had died. He employed people who were managing the businesses, but he was learning the basics. Now he has become the CEO. He has sat down, and nobody can tell him stories that he will not understand about that business. The same way you say you retired 26 years ago, and you already know what the business is all about. I think what we should be preaching to our people is that when your children are coming up, don't put them in management positions. Let them go and start from scratch so that that business will survive. When my son finished school, he said he wanted to do this, he wanted to do that. We put him in a company where he started mixing cement and all the things. He's a civil engineer. I said, go and learn how to mix cement. The quantities and all these things. He did that for 1 whole year. Before he now moved, and when he now was to be employed in the UK, they asked him for his experience. But we don't do that in Nigeria. We just put up children. When your child finishes, you put it in management position. A man had 3 companies here in Ibadan. 3. Those who know, who lived back then, will know the people I'm talking about. The man finished, the 3 children graduated. He made them general managers of his 3 different companies. The companies went down because those boys did not know anything about the business. They just thought that they could come into management and run the family business. Today, those 3 boys are walking around and begging for money. Yet, their father had what was sufficient to do. So, sir, in conclusion, my own is that we should preach it more. That when you are putting people, family business, let them start from the scratch and they will succeed. God bless you, sir.
All right. You want to respond?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. May the Lord increase your wisdom, sir. Yes, the system of transferring from one generation to the next generation the system had been adopted by several organizations. Books have been written on it. The children, even if they are part of the board members, they are just there to learn. The people running, I mentioned that we have a general manager. We have deputy general manager. I didn't mention that the children don't run organizations. They learn to respect those who run the organization. They learn to study, to become a professor under those who run the organization. They ask questions. Some of the people that run the organization are a little bit older, more experienced. You understand? I agree with you absolutely that those children should go from one department to the other and matriculate gradually upward the ladder. But the key people that will be in charge of managing will not be the children, but will be the people who have grown through the ranks over the years. They are a lot more experienced, more exposed, more knowledgeable than the children. There's what we call think tank. The board is supposed to be think tank for the whole organization. Where are we going? What do we want to achieve? The think tank is a learning tank where members, children, should matriculate towards becoming members of the think tank. Organizations are run by thinkers. Thinkers are leaders. Thinkers are leaders. So these are the concepts we must gradually be adopting in Nigeria. We must not assume we already know.
No, yeah.
We must learn from
those who have gone before.
Marriott's, the Four Seasons. These are hotels of international repute that started by one person building family businesses. The Hilton Hotel started from one person. Reading their stories and understanding the way they transferred and the basic rudiments, studying those things will permit the ventilation of thinking apparatus within our own system to thrive. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Well, we actually have run out of time, but I would allow a lady to ask a question and then maybe one more person. We'll take two more questions just to give a little bit of balance. All right. You wanted to ask a question, Mr. Sani? Okay. All right.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, church. Part of the question I want to ask, sir, Sanola Sope has asked those questions. But my own, the last time you came here, I asked one question, and I took it to my place of work. I'm an hospital administrator, and I've been working in hospital for 22 years now. Now, there are some hospitals in this Ibadan that are very popular. Some of them have closed down. Because when it comes to the issue of organization, as in the management level, they are not there. And most of these hospitals, they put their children to manage it. And they didn't learn from the scrap. And those hospitals have been closed down. They sold it. There was a particular hospital that I went, and I told the person there that, though you may be a medical doctor, but there are some organization skill you need to know. And before you know it, that hospital was sold. So your own is not like that, and I pray it to not be like, because you did some organization skill, you hired some people that have managerial skill. Sorry, some doctors have made patients to lose their life because they didn't organize very well. You need to do a test for a patient, you didn't tell the lab people, all those stuffs. So, sir, and I know in Ibadan there are private hospitals directors that meet. I don't know, they call them private owners of private hospitals. They meet. Sir, if you are there, sir, help us to preach this to them also. Because some hospitals are still going to fold up. They are popular, but at the management skill, they are not there. And they are known. And some will remain because they make sure that their children are not the ones that are managing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
But is this really only peculiar to hospitals? I think it's
yes. Many times I have been invited to give seminars at NMA forum on how to manage hospitals. I've been invited Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, and at the national level on a number of occasions that I actually wrote a book called Doctor and His Money. How to manage money, how to manage people, how to leverage, how to organize businesses. The problem with a lot of my colleagues are that we tend to think that since we have become doctors, there is no knowledge left. That we have known everything. We tend to have that belief. And once a cup is already full, you can add more.
wow.
You understand now? So, my own case had been the opposite. I have always felt that I knew nothing. And that business climate, even life itself, is dynamic. And things are changing. And that to be a leader tomorrow, you must be a leader today. You must be learning. You must not go out into the public any day if you have not spent at least 1 hour to learn new things about what you do. You understand? These are the things that keeps the mind renewed to meet the challenges of the world around us. To actually bring into focus what we are really trying to create. You understand? So that we can have understanding, and then deeper understanding, and then deeper still. The world, books, everything are so many that we know so little.
Yes.
You understand? By the time you think that you have known something, even 1,000,000 things have passed you by.
Wow.
So you have to get going, because knowledge, experience exposure in the world are overwhelming.
I think this is an excellent place to come on. Let's appreciate, because you notice I haven't asked him any question about fundamentals, but you can see that we ended up with the fundamental. This, whether you're pastoring a church, you're the head of the women's unit or the head of the men's unit, whether you're a security guard, whether you are the gardener in the field, or you are the MD of the company, or the senior advocate of Nigeria, or you are whoever you are, you can't continue at the level you entered in. Not with the amount of knowledge that is available. This is an information age. So what that tells you is that the person who has access to information and knowledge is the one going to lead that field. And now with the advent of AI, which even now makes information more, how would I put it, designed to fit you, we are running out of excuses. You know, this morning, or yesterday night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I said, what questions should I ask Dr. Abib? I used an AI to give me questions. I wasn't going to follow it, but I wanted to be prepared. You know, and I had to describe Dr. Abib to the AI. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. This is the person I'm going to interview. You know what I mean? And this is where I want to go with it. And it gave me questions for him. I've only asked one. And we haven't even been able to scratch the surface of it. So I really want us to stop here. You get the point I'm making. Because if we start talking about, I think this is the bottom line. So I'm going to give Dr. Abib just a few minutes. I'm going to get off stage. Just to, what you just said to me right now is probably one of the reasons we have not made much progress about almost anything. Because look at what she said. She said people's lives are in danger because of somebody's lack of management. But he thinks because he has an MBBS or he has, you know what I mean? And that's what we also do. We assume that politicians, because they won an election, know what to do. We assume that a pastor who's in charge of a church, because he's the pastor in charge, knows about management. You know, and then when we too appoint you as head of department, or we appoint you as whatever, we too assume that you know what to do. But we have all seen that there's a huge gap, which is a knowledge gap. And I can promise you, it's affecting your business. It's affecting your life. Can I dare say it's affecting your marriage? And it will ultimately affect your children. Because you are the lead over your family. If you don't know what is available out there, you know, you can't bring your children into it. And so this is very, so Doc, I want you to, I don't know if I just give you 5 minutes or so just to I wanted you to please, you know, just talk about this thing you just said again, maybe from a slightly different perspective about the need for us to run after. You've always said it, so it's not as if it's new. It's just that maybe if you say it for the 15th time, maybe we would listen. Let's appreciate Dr. Abib.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yes. Today, let me see. Most of I live in England now. I've been living in England since January. I used to live in England. Maybe I came back to Nigeria in 2006. And why? Because I wanted my children to be educated in Nigeria. So I put them in primary school, secondary school, the other one secondary school. They are just 5 years apart. So they were surprised that we could come. Everybody was surprised that, how will you live in England? You had a shop, it was bringing you money. You had a home, you have electricity, peace of mind. Reading books gradually convinced me that I would sacrifice the future for the joy of the present. And books help to sell ideas of the future, of hope, of planning, of organizing. So I was convinced. So I had some problem convincing my wife. But I succeeded. Because if I could convince her to marry me, I should be qualified enough to convince her to do anything. This thing we call leadership is persuading others to follow. You understand? So she came, and in the course, the two children, as they were going to school, I knew that at home I must go to school as well. So I began learning. I started 110 Academy to teach people that it is foolish to run businesses in the absence of business knowledge. It's like running very rapidly in the dark. That fatal fall is inevitable. And people began to see the need. I introduced books written abroad to people, and that was what led me into the corridors of Pastor Madojemu. And that was what has united us together. The need for learning. Today, I wake up 5 a.m. every day. In Nigeria, I used to wake up 4 a.m. But in England, the day starts 9. In Nigeria, the day starts 8. So I wake up. My major preoccupation is to read. Because there's so much to know. The more you know, the more you grow. The more you learn, the more you earn. If you know this, then the money I spend in England, I have a car, I have my home. The home is well paid off, paid for. It started from mortgage to... Then the revenue that comes from Nigeria is enough. I can't finish the gain from one of the organizations. I can't. The profit, I can't. I can just take out of the profit of one of the organizations. And the rest is in Nigeria. I can't take my money abroad. My money should stay here. It is made here. You understand? I read, then take a walk 3 hours every day, come back, eat, and then sleep. The following day, we repeat the thing. It's enjoyable. You understand now? So, this is the system that I'm trying to invite you over. I can't work in a company in England. How much would they pay me? You understand? They can't pay my salary. And I live in Nigeria. I live in England. I'll go back now next week. Or this week, let me put it that way. And then come back in November. And then go back. I don't like too much cold. I'll stay in Nigeria when it is cold. And I stay there when it is hot there. So I balance the two. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more pathetic than being foolish. The way to wisdom is to learn.
The Bridge Network City Church, Canada, is based in Vancouver at the moment, where we're starting out. And we believe so strongly in connecting to each other, to community, and of course to God. And to be a part of this, everything you need to know about how to give, how to support, how to contact us is right there on the screen in front of you. The number is 1-604-600-7940. The website is thebridgenetwork.ca. We look forward to hearing from you. We thank you so much for being part of what we're doing today. And Church Canada is here just for you.